Welcome back, dear viewers, once again. The game of the day is Final Fantasy XIV. And today we're going to be taking a look at something new that was added in patch 2.1. The first raid, as opposed to a regular 4 or even 8-man dungeon. This is a full raid consisting of 3 teams, each of 8 men. Now the reason I'm going over this one right now is because progression-wise, there's a fairly large wall coming up. And you're going to want to be as geared as possible for that wall. With what you have right now, item level 70 things, potentially, some AF2, you should be ready. So queue up for the Labyrinth of the Ancients, the Crystal Tower. You can see I'm going into this way over-prepared. Pretty much all level 80 and 90 things. I think the only thing I'm missing is the Dark Light ring in the lower right there, which is going to be replaced very soon. However, you should be perfectly fine going into this dungeon with what you've acquired up until now, as I mentioned before. Item level 70 gear, Dark Light, potentially full Dark Light, and say Garuda's weapon. And you should honestly be fine for this fight. So with that said, queue on up. Now the reason we're doing this dungeon is because what drops from here is item level 80 main body equipment, which if you're going to change your equipment, the most important thing you'll want to do is change your main body equipment first. That drops here, and you can get away with going in with item level 70 stuff. Now when you queue up for this in the Duty Finder, be prepared for a lot of this. There's a lot of people queue dodging for one reason or another. They're probably queuing up, wanting to jump into the dungeon later on and only get away with the last reward or something. Doesn't make it any less annoying. There we go. No, not a light party. A full party. A full party of 8. And you'll be cooperating with 2 other full parties as well. So skip the intro cutscene and take a look at what you got. If you zoom out, you'll see that there are 3 groups here, positioned left to right. The far left group there will be Team A, we will be Team B, and the far right will be Team C. This will become more apparent once the duty commences. Now while we're waiting for everybody to get on with that, let's take a quick look at the map. You'll see the map is divided up into 3 sections, the left, top, and right. First thing we're doing is going to the left. Once we clear that, we'll then go to the right, and clear that, and we'll go to the top. Once we beat that, we'll be brought back to near the entrance where we will fight the final boss. And then in the first section there on the left, you see there are 3 little dots. That means we're going to be fighting 3 small fights before the boss. On the right, there's going to be a mini-boss then a boss, same with the top, before ending with the final boss of the tower. So as I said, the first thing we're doing is going to the left. Oh, you will want to look at your party. This isn't necessary, but it will help if you have 2 melee and 2 ranged. You don't need that. I'll get to this, and I'll get to this later. But that's the optimal thing. So the first thing we're going to do is run up to that hub point you saw moments before when I had the map open. You can see the pathway off to the right is blocked. You can see the pathway forward is blocked, so as I mentioned, we're going first to the left. Now on the left, it's going to start with 3 small fights. These are the only real trash pulls in the tower. The rest is more complete fights. These trash pulls are really just there to get you used to A, the mechanic in this left path, and B, to get you used to working with this many other people. Now when we go into this area, you'll see an area to the left and an area to the right. Team A will generally go to the left, Team C will go to the right. We're Team B, and Team B doesn't really have a home base. So we're just gonna kind of be splitting up and going wherever. Is that lady wearing... No, she's actually wearing that Colosseum thing, okay. Now, if you look off to the left there, you can see poisonous water. If you go look at the platform we're on, there's a small ledge. As the fight goes on, the poison will raise. So you'll want to stand on the higher ground if at all possible, though it's easy to stand on the low ground to start. Now you'll see there are not only a lot of these homunculuses, but there's also 2 larger dragons furthering back. You can pull the homunculus without pulling the dragons. Please do so, as the dragons will pretty quickly wreck you if they're not being correctly contained. Now these homunculuses are really not that threatening. Granted, I'm item level 86 at this point, but I could probably solo one of these if I needed to. All they do is they cast whatever element they are spell on their target, and that's really it. You can see the poison is raised a little bit. Please do not step in it. It's only raised up to the first level, so we've still got a little bit of freedom to move around. The reason I say do not step in it is because it will do a lot of damage. It will do about 200 damage a tick as you're standing in it, and those ticks are fast. You can see I'm going to run across it here. And just in that brief jump, I got hit by the 200 damage twice. Do not stand in it. 200 doesn't seem like much, but that will add up exceptionally quickly. Now, when killing the Balefors, you saw before a large red area appear on the ground. When you fight these things, you do not want to stand in front of them or behind them. If you stand in front of them, you'll get hit by the lasers you saw there. If you stand behind them, you'll get hit by the tail swipe, which is why the tanks generally grab these things and have to point them in such a direction, as DPS can stand on the sides, and their front and back isn't pointing at anything important, because that can hit you and hurt. You can see we are Alliance B. It says they're right over our party list. You can see Alliance A and C in the upper right corner. In the second area here, there's no real first layer. There's only pretty much one place you can be in if you don't want to get hit by the poison. The Valars here exist alongside a couple of the larger demon guys. The Valars, once again, go down fairly easily. They cast Blizzard and Void Blizzard, and I think Void Blizzard puts a slow effect on you, but don't quote me on that. Now, between those 2 spells, they go down very quickly, especially with this many people beating on them. Now, if you think that, oh, it looks like it's pure chaos and people throwing themselves at the wolves in here, don't worry about that. That gets a lot better as this goes on. The first wing, so to say, is really just to get us used to working with this many people. So once you've killed off all of these, got a couple more over here, you're going to be fighting the 2 greater demons. Now, the reason you're not fighting the greater demons right away, you can actually hold off or have the tank hold them off to the side, is as you saw just happen to that tank, the greater demons have a knockback attack, which is a very good way to knock somebody into the poison. It's also conal, so pretty much everybody standing in front of it will get knocked away. Tanks will generally try to stand either with their back to the poison, so if they get knocked in the poison, they're the only ones going in, or stand in such a way as that they can get knocked across the arena and still be safe, but nobody else will. You can see the poison's up. We've killed one of the greater demons, attacking it from behind while the tank holds it off, facing the side, and you just saw him fly back. But again, with this many people, they will go down fairly quickly. As long as everybody knows what they're doing, this is hardly a challenge, though people can still mess it up. Okay, with the second one done, onwards to the third, essential trash pull of this. Now, once again, you'll see a platform to the left and right. A goes to the left, C goes to the right, B goes wherever the crap feels like going. Now, there are 3 cursed eyes and 3, I forget what they're called, Diras or something. Typically, B will pile on with either A or C, and you'll just kind of keep pulling as you pull. Now, the cursed eyes are important to point away from everybody else because they have a conal attack of level 5 Petrify, which, for those of you not familiar with Final Fantasy lore and known spells and things, that means if your attack is a multiple of 5, you will be petrified. Now, I'm pretty sure the requirement for coming into this is to be level 50. So if you're going to get petrified by this. I'd really like to see somebody at level 49 even attempt this. In fact, no, I don't think it is possible. Because I'm pretty sure the item level requirement requires being level 50 to equip anything over level 50. Regardless, kill them, and then there's only the Diras left. Well, we're working on one cursed eye, the other team will work on the other cursed eye. There's one cursed eye left over, whoever finishes first will finish that one, and then you start fighting the Diras. Now, the Diras are typical succubuses. They have a couple attacks. They have a front conal attack that you saw swipe off before that. They have the large AoE that's around them that I think, I've never actually been hit by it, I'm pretty sure it will fear you. And then they can cast Void Blizzard as well. Or no, Void Fire as well, not Void Blizzard. Now, typically, that right there, some Dark Mist, I think it's called, and we're standing in the poison. Typically, somebody will stun Dark Mist, though I would not count on that, so if you have a stun, feel free to use it. But in clearing up them, we can now walk our way into the first actual boss. Now, this is the first time you're actually going to be tested in your ability to work together. I'll generally run up to this second platform here. I'm pretty sure you can run up to the third one, but I wouldn't risk it. You can see we've killed off the 3 trash pulls. We've made our way to the boss of the first win. The Bone Dragon. Now, the gimmick with this, as you can see, there are still small platforms. There are larger strips. Poison will rise and fall as this fight goes on, so do be careful. Now, the trick with this fight is that the Bone Dragon, as you fight it, will summon skeletons. These skeletons need to be hauled very far away from the Bone Dragon and very far away from each other, and then killed. And the skeletons have to be killed before the Bone Dragon is killed. If any of the skeletons are still alive when the Bone Dragon is killed, they will turn around and sprint towards the Bone Dragon's corpse, and when they get to it, good luck stopping them, when they get to it, it'll send out an arena-wide AoE, doing somewhere in the neighborhood of 1500 damage. Also of note, you have to kill the skeletons away from each other, because after you kill the Bone Dragon, all the skeletons will get back up, and you have to kill them. And if there are 2 skeletons near each other, or if they get near each other, they will sprint towards the boss. Since there's 2 of them, that's 1500 damage from each. 3000 damage to each person in the fight. Pretty quick way to get yourself a wipe. Now, the tank will generally grab the Bone Dragon and haul him to the far north of the arena and stand him between 2 platforms. Beat on him for a while. After about the first third of his HP is gone, you'll see the Platinals spawn. These are the skeletons. Stop DPSing the dragon. Just stop. Now, if the tanks are competent at all, they will grab the other tanks, because if you recall, there's 2 tanks in our group and 4 in the other 2 alliances. There's, of course, 1 main tank tanking the Bone Dragon, but that means there's 5 other tanks. And if they are intelligent at all, they will grab the Platinals and run them to the far end of each one of these various strips. They will also take one to a different strip than a previous Platinal has been killed on. The Platinals will spawn in groups of 2, so after you kill 2. So we killed that one, and I'm sitting here going, guys gonna get rid of this guy? Really don't want to kill him next to the other one? Anybody gonna move him? No, I guess you're just gonna kill him there, which means, unless we're really lucky, we're probably gonna eat a lot of damage. Now, they killed off the Bone Dragon just as we finished, which was a little close. Now, they're too close together. And now they're sprinting. So, get ready for the pain. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Maybe they managed to kill one of them. Now, the other ones will all move very slowly towards the Bone Dragon. Kill them off as best you can. Don't stand in the poison. You do have to kill them off before they get to the Bone Dragon, or the same thing that happens when they get to them otherwise will happen. AoE comes out that hits everybody in the arena. Now, Phase 2 of the fight is exactly like Phase 1. The Bone Dragon will revive. He'll come back to life. And you've got to beat on him a little bit again, and after about a third of his HP, a bunch of Platinals will spawn again. So I'm going to speed through this, since it's pretty much the same thing again. Now with the Platinals dead, the Bone Dragon is going to revive once again. Oh, also of note, there are a few AoEs that'll hit the various people in the rest of the group, so that exists. Now when the Bone Dragon revives again, don't ask me why there are 2 Bone Dragons in the enemy list on the right, on the left, I have no idea. When the Bone Dragon revives again, burn him down. This is the final time he'll revive, and you need to just outright kill him. While you're fighting him, of note, the Bone Dragon has a conal AoE in front that will put Terrify on you, which will make you run around like an idiot. So, don't stand in front of him. But while you're fighting this, various Ahriman-type enemies, Hounding Eyes will appear in the arena behind you. The 5 other tanks that aren't the main tank should be grabbing these and keeping them off of the mages. Those guys are typical Ahriman-type enemies. They will cast Petrify and do various things that we've seen them do already. Ignore them and kill the Bone Dragon. And when you've downed him, the arena drains of poison, and you can claim your first reward. That was an item level 80 piece of equipment for Monk. I don't need it, so I pass. And you saw 3 treasure chests opened there, 1 for each of the various groups. It actually said A, B, and C on it. So each group gets 1. We didn't have any use for it. I didn't need it. You can see we've cleared off part 1, step in the teleporter, and we're brought back to the entrance. And now we're going along the right path, where there will be where we came from, where we can't go yet, and where we are going. Now, this is the first fight that's going to rely a lot more on each team having its own goal. So your teams essentially split up and have to do their own things. This fight is against Atomos, and this is probably my favorite fight in the Crystal Tower. I just realized I went that entire time without having Fist of Fire on. Go me. Now, the arena will split into 3 directions, 3 paths, and the correct group has to go down the correct one. A goes down the left one, B goes down the middle, and C goes down the right. You can see Atomos there in the distance, and he has a barrier around him. You can see the small platforms, the blue one just in front of us, and the yellow one under Atomos, and you can see a blue one under that Atomos. So blue and blue. You can then see purple there on the right, and there will then be a purple under the one on the far left. If this means anything for you, this means that people will need to stand on the first platform in order to unlock the Atomos of the next group. At least 4 people need to be standing on that platform for the next group to be able to attack their Atomos. So the party will divide into 2 groups of 4. 4 people will stand on the platform, 4 will go a bit further down. Typically, some ranged DPS, and the healers will stand on the near platform, while the melee DPS will go beat on Atomos, and the tanks will handle the various adds that will spawn. The ranged DPS back on the platform will work on the adds. Now granted, this is sort of one of my favorite fights, because I get to just sit back and beat on Atomos. Now you may be wondering, well, what happens if one group wipes? Since they can't stand on their platform anymore, that means the other group simply can't win. Well, something hilarious happens. In the non-wiped groups, an iron giant will appear and just go to town. So remember, the team's success relies on your success. Once more with feeling this time. Okay, so admittedly that was kind of our fault we lost, and that was sort of because the tanks weren't entirely sure what to do. So one rage quit later, and we're ready to do this for reals this time. Hopefully the guy who left was the one who didn't know what he was doing. Now admittedly my job is just to absolutely tear into Atomos. That's just all I do. You can see I'm actually not using my 2 larger buttons there on the, my 2 larger dots there on the left, and that's mostly because they take a lot more TP. This fight will go on long enough that I'll actually run out of TP. So I slack off on using those, so maybe I'm not doing as much damage as I'd like, but it's either I'm doing more damage up front and less damage in the end, or an even amount of damage the whole way across. You also note I put Impulse Drive there on the upper left, and I'm using it quite consistently. As it turns out, I don't actually need to use it at all. I was under the impression it would be helpful, but I actually looked at the numbers again and know it won't, so I've since removed that. But on the other note, you'll see there in the center various adds spawning. You saw a Dira spawn there, a Greater Demon spawn. These are the things that the various tanks are handling. Generally, one tank can handle this fight, can handle the adds. So the other tank can then go beat on Atomos. Or if you have one too many melee, he can stand on the platform back there. But in case your tank's not quite as confident, you can have both tanks out there tanking the various duders as well. All he's got to do is keep them away from the mages in back, but keep them close enough that the mages can hit him, and really you should be fine. And that's Atomos down. Somehow we were the slowest ones to kill it. All the platforms will link up so everybody can come over to B's route, and we can move up towards the final boss of the B path. These teleporters scattered around, always just before a fight, so if you do happen to wipe, you can always teleport back. Or in the case of the very first fight, somebody can be really lazy and just stand there at the beginning and wait for people to activate the first one. Now this fight against Thanatos, you can see there are various sections off on the end. Once again, the teams are splitting up. The one on the left there is A, the one behind me over there is C. Since we're Group B, we get to skim the edge and make our way to the very back. You'll also notice there is a magic pot sitting on this. That magic pot is exceptionally important to you winning this fight. You see, you can't hurt Thanatos at all. The magic pots will actually cast a spell on you, which will make you able to fight Thanatos. He will always cast it on Group A first, so you can see them all going slightly invisible and ghostly, where they can now go in and beat on Thanatos. Now, the other two teams' jobs, at the moment, we don't have one. But don't worry, we will soon. Various enemies spawn over the course of the fight. Sandmen, I think they're called, will show up and, with hate on one of the various magic pots, you cannot pull them off. You see the chain connecting them to it. Sandman, yeah. So, these things will go towards the magic pots and try to kill them. So, kill the Sandmen, or they will kill your pot. And if they kill your pot, you can't kill Thanatos. Also keep in mind that the people who are ghosted, which we were just ghosted by another pot, the people who are ghosted are going to be beating on Thanatos. So if you are not ghosted, be careful and take care of everybody's pot, not just yours. Now, not only do the Sandmen go out and beat on the pots, but occasionally Thanatos will do a move that will actually pull the pot in really close to Thanatos, where Thanatos can hit him. You can cure the pots, and while Thanatos is pulling them in, all you have to do is cure the pot, and the pot will turn around and go right back out. Now, to complicate matters even more, Nemesis will spawn, and they will continue to spawn, so you will have to kill them eventually. They don't have to be your priority one. In fact, they should not be your priority one, but try to take one or two out every now and then. And they'll do general succubus stuff. They'll do their large veil of mist or whatever the crap it's called. Now, my ghostliness wore off, so I'm off to go beat on a Sandman again. I'm one of few people over here, apparently. It's surprising, really, just how much people will often ignore the pots. There you see that pot's getting dragged in by Thanatos. You can cure it to get it to turn around if somebody would be so kind. There we go. Now at this point, I don't see any pots. I'm debating if I should go after one of the Nemesis, but I'm making sure there's no Sandmen around. As soon as I see a Sandman, I'll stop being indecisive and go for it. Typically, I would have been a little more aggressive than that, but, kill the Sandmen first. Just fudge the Nemesis. Kill the Sandmen first. All of them, not just yours. But that is, in general, the fight. You can see the other pot there is ghosting us up again, so we get the finishing blow to go in and beat on Thanatos. Now, if you're worried about hate management, there is actually a brief overlay period where two teams will be ghosted. So the ones get teams not just stuck there going, I don't know, I can't hit him, while the other team's like trying to get hate. See, we got the Onion Gauntlets, which are item level 80 Dragoon equipment. Now, you can only get one drop from the Crystal Tower a week. So once you get your drop, you can't loot on anything else. And I've already gotten my drop, so even if I wanted to, I couldn't. Now you see we've cleared off the left and the right, so beating that one, we got teleported back to the entrance, where we're now going north. Going to the north, we're leading up to my least favorite fight in this dungeon. Now many people will say their least favorite fight is the fight that comes after this one, the proper boss fight of this one and not the mini-boss, but nay, I just don't like the mini-boss. Now, for whatever reason, everybody decided to jump off this ledge up here, probably because they like taking fall damage. I mean, you heal up quick, and it's not much. And it's quicker, but, fudge them, I'm taking the stairs. They built stairs here, god dang it, I'm using them. And there's a zone line, because apparently the Crystal Tower is big. Another teleporter, and that will take us to our mini-boss in the final path. You see a small bomb in the middle and 3 large demons along the edge. The bomb in the middle is what you really have to kill, though you have to kill the 3 demons along the edge before you fight the bomb in the middle, or the bomb in the middle, I'm pretty sure he just blows up or something. I've never been dumb enough to try. Now you see the 3 of them, the one off to the left, these are laid out exactly like the Thanatos fight. The one to the left there, Team A will go fight. The one to the right, Team C will go fight. Now the bomb in the middle doesn't actually aggro, so you can run up and stand under it, which is nice, because that means Team B can get to their dude a little bit easier. Now you see these chains tying them to the bomb. I do believe that means you have to break the chains before you can fight the bomb, but that also means you have to keep these guys away from each other and away from the bomb. So the tank has to grab them and keep them at the far edges of the arena away from each other. The closer they get to each other and the closer they get to the bomb, the faster the bomb will grow. And if the bomb gets too big, he just blows up on ya, and that's kind of the end of the fight. This is my least favorite fight, if only because it's very easy to wipe here, and it's very hard to tell why. And they're off! So we gotta grab our guy. I mean, I'm gonna beat on him, I can't get hate on him. Tank's gonna grab him eventually, and haul him off to the far edge where we get to just beat on him for a little while. I got hit by something. I was standing off to his side, and I should have been frickin' safe, so that was BS. But he didn't like something. In general, most of his very powerful attacks should be going towards the tank, which the tank is going to handle, which is why you don't want to stand in front of him. Or he probably turned towards me at one point. He will occasionally do that Grim Halo attack, which will hit everybody nearby, which really it doesn't do that much damage. And I found that it's actually very easy to dodge. I've been able to dodge that and get off a haymaker against this guy more times than I would think. Now during this fight, a couple interesting things happen. A, balloons will spawn. Kill them. If any ad spawns, pay attention to the mob list on the left side of the screen. If you see a balloon or napalm spawn, figure out where the crap they are, and if they are even remotely anywhere near you, go kill them. The balloon, when it spawns, will act like a regular monster. You can go over and beat on it. You don't have to worry about the off-tank grabbing hate. A melee can tank it if they need to. I'm not entirely sure I could solo one, but a melee can tank it if need be. Now, on top of that, when the napalms spawn, the napalms are black bombs, which you see right there. These will slowly move towards the bomb in the center. If they get to the bomb in the center, they explode and hurt everybody in the arena. Pretty sure they make the bomb in the middle grow bigger too. So we killed that one, we can get back on the big guy. So, point 1, if you see any bombs spawn, kill them quickly. Pay attention to the ad list on the left, and when one spawns, look around, find it, kill it as fast as you can. Now, a couple other things to note is the Vagos themselves have a couple attacks. One, they have that large red directional attack, which they will occasionally turn around and use. So do be careful to dodge that. You can even be hit by the one from across the arena's attack. So again, be careful. Also, periodically, you'll see, and I'm not sure if this just kind of happens or if it's actually an attack by them, but you'll see the large flaming circles appear on the arena every so often. When you see one of these show up, it's generally accepted that everybody moves their dude clockwise to dodge it. But not everybody does. And sometimes you end up with two guys scrunched in, holding an area together, which is less than optimal. not everybody knows that you need to move them clockwise, so not everybody does. It's not an established thing. Like, even as much as which party goes where, A goes to the left, one B goes to the one in the back, C goes to the one on the right, that's kind of established. You don't have to figure that out or ask. People just know where to go. But people don't know to move clockwise. We're still figuring that one out. I'm sure we'll get it eventually. With that said, just keep beating on them for whatever reason. We're the slowest again to kill ours. I don't care if I'm item level 86. Well, I don't think I'm 86 at this point. I'm probably 85 at this point. I don't care if I'm item level 85. I'm still only a quarter of the DPS. Once you kill off one of the Vagos, and you can see the other two teams have taken out theirs, they should move in to help the teams that are not done yet. So you see, hey, they're coming in to help us. Split up, kill all the Vagos. Once they're all dead, go beat on the bomb. Now, we took a long time, and we had our dudes near each other, and our dudes near the bomb, and we had bombs blowing up, and this bomb is huge. Typically, but we managed to kill him before he exploded. Typically, if the ring around the bomb is far enough that it reaches into the stone square around it, it's not really good news. We did manage to kill it, though, so all's well. And with that, we can move on from my least favorite fight in this dungeon to everyone else's least favorite fight in this dungeon. King Behemoth. Now this fight's got a lot of crap going on. And you'll typically stand here for an hour and a half because nobody wants to man up and main tank King Behemoth. Whereas before, everybody will race and try to fight their way and go, oh man, look at me, I'm the better tank, I can pull hate off this guy. As soon as King Behemoth rolls up, nobody wants to main tank King Behemoth. Nobody wants to off tank. Everybody wants to get on the towers. Now, as I mentioned before, there are 6 tanks. There will be a main tank, which tanks King Behemoth. An Iron Giant will appear partway through the fight. These will be handled by the off tank, and then you can see these 4 pillars along the edge of the arena. The remaining 4 tanks, since they don't really have a role otherwise, is to stand by those pillars. Those pillars will light up red, and when they light up red, the tanks need to hit the button on them to make them not red anymore. Sounds simple enough. On top of that, bombs will occasionally spawn in the middle of the arena, and these bombs will move towards the pillars along the edge. If they get to the pillar at the edge, they will explode, dealing damage to the pillar. Enough will destroy the pillar. This is also bad. So, you want to kill these bombs as fast as possible. You want to kill King Behemoth as fast as possible. The main tank will generally grab King Behemoth and hold him there at the far north of the arena and point him away from everybody else. So everybody else gets to be on his back. The bombs should be spawning right there in the middle of the arena and make their way out to the far corners. And very early in the fight, an Iron Giant will spawn, which the off tank has to go and grab, and it is then our job as DPS to go kill the Iron Giant. Oh, and the floor is on electricity. So everyone's constantly taking damage. Oh, and meteors will fall down in the arena periodically, and you actually need to position them in very specific places so the meteors aren't destroyed, so you can survive King Behemoth's attack. I'm sure this will all make more sense soon enough, but rest assured, there's a lot going on. There we go. Tank went. The floor is now electricity. And for a brief moment, we go up and we beat on his backside. Moments after, you'll see the 2 bombs appear. Since it's generally a bad idea to have melee running around the arena waste too much time, I'll generally focus on the ones that are nearby. Now you see I have that small green symbol over my head. That means there's a meteor over my head. A meteor will be hitting wherever I stand. You will want to put these meteors along the ring of that circle, but not in the corners where the bombs are going to be traveling, and not on the side where either King Behemoth is or where the Iron Giant is going. Because the Iron Giant can damage these, King Behemoth can damage these, I'm pretty sure the bombs can damage these, and a couple of attacks that King Behemoth does that will hit even other things everywhere else in the arena will also damage them. Putting them along those rings in either the side or back of the arena, or wherever the Iron Giant isn't, is your safest bet to keeping them around. So with that dead, go kill the Iron Giant really quick. This group of people is fairly competent. Somebody dropped a meteor in the middle for whatever reason. This group of people is fairly competent, so I was willing to leave the bombs to everybody else while I went and then beat on the Iron Giant. Now you see the one that's nearby, I'm going to go beat on. The one that's going farther back, I'll let the ranged take. Now when you see that howl appear across the middle of the screen, King Behemoth is casting Ecliptic Meteor. And the only way to dodge that is to get behind a meteor, break line of sight between you and Behemoth with a meteor. I got another meteor on me, so I'm going to go drop it off to the left here. Now come Phase 2, after the first Ecliptic Meteor, King Behemoth will gain a new attack, which you see right there in the large red ring. Will cause a very large tornado to appear. Do not stand in that at all. It does a ridiculous amount of damage if you are standing in that thing. I forget what it's called, actually, but I'm sure we'll figure it out eventually. In the resolution that I edit this with, I cannot read any of the text on the screen, so you all, it's Charybdis, there it is. So y'all are just gonna have to read. So, back to beating on King Behemoth. An Iron Giant will appear at the beginning of the fight and after each of the Ecliptic Meteors. So back to beating on one of the bombs. Again, I'll take care of the near ones that go towards the two northeastern and northwestern towers, whereas I'll let the ranged DPS handle the ones in back. Now we've got King Behemoth down to a little over a third of his HP, so we're all off going to hide behind another comet. While the other meteor comes by. If you don't dodge, if you don't get behind something, by the way, you will die. I remember somebody saying at one point that, oh, I think you can hide behind the towers in the four corners. No, you can't do that either. No, I have no idea where he's taking this Iron Giant, so I wasn't going to run him off to the left side because that looked like where the Iron Giant was going, so I ran to the bottom. No, he's going to take the Iron Giant to the bottom. And my meteor's already been damaged. Go me. Now, Charybdis can damage the meteors as well. In fact, it'll just wreck those meteors. So do what you can. Also, the Iron Giant's attack, regular attack, is conal. So stand in front of him. Do what you can to kill him, regardless. Stay out of range of the Charybdis. Again, I'm willing to let the other DPS handle the bombs. And then back on King Behemoth. Now this should be nearing the end of the fight. When he's down to very little HP, I want to say somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 to 10% of his HP, he will do one last Ecliptic Meteor. Now, if you've got enough people together doing enough damage and you're well geared enough and you focus him down super hard, maybe you can kill him before that runs out. But I'd rather just hide and play it safe. And then just dive in for that last little bit of HP and kill him off. That tank really needs to do a better job of getting that guy in place. But you know what? Whatever. After you kill King Behemoth, you are gifted with a cutscene, which normally I would skip, and I would advise all of you skip as well, but I'm going to show it to you so you can tell what the crap happened. You see back in the hub in the center, there is a large thing with 3 devices orbiting it, with each of the areas you completed, one of the devices was removed. Once the final one was removed, it lowers into the platform in the middle and raises it up to another platform very high up. A teleporter activates, letting you now move up here and face the final boss of the Crystal Tower, who is totally one of the Pillar Men. The music changes too, and this music is like totally old school Final Fantasy. So I checked the loot and pass because I wasn't going to be able to use it. Take the shortcut to go back to the entrance. Now there are 2 ways to get up top there. You can either take the teleporter, or if you just run up to the big hole that's left, you'll just kind of get teleported up there too. We're up here now. You can even see down below where we were. Now once again, this is where the 3 teams have to split up. You can see this large ring here. There's another ring off to the left and right. Team A goes to the left, C goes to the right. B sits right here in the middle. This is important, and will be important later on. At the start of the fight, perhaps not as much. But you'll wipe if you don't. What the crap was that guy going the wrong? Is he standing on the wrong one? Common mistake, really. I've, done this before where I've been in Group C for so many times that I show up the next time and I just go stand in Group C before I realize everybody's name is a different color. Ah, crap. So the main tank goes and grabs Acheron. And we get to go beat on it. Now, in general, you're sort of safe standing behind him. You're at least safe for most of his attacks. Even his regular swing like that, which I think is called Great Divide or something, does a lot of damage. He has a couple other attacks to worry about, though. You see the flames going off there. If you see the flame ring below you, get out of the way. He has that one, which again, if you see the thing appear on the ground that looks like it had its transparency layer not correctly set, get out of the way of it. And his final one, which you saw there, was a large green AoE, that conal AoE that went straight forward. Now, pay attention, pay great attention to the mob list on the left. When you see 3 Iron Claws spawn simultaneously, an Iron Claw will appear on each of the 3 platforms that we were on before. Go kill it, and then stand on the platform. You have to stand on the platform in order to not die. Standing on the platform will raise up a barrier which will save you from the large attack that Acheron just did. And while the barrier is up and the floor is lava, an iron giant will appear, so beat on it. Once they're all dead, the barrier goes away and you can go back in to fight Acheron again. Now in this phase of the fight, a few new things happen. First of all, his attacks are now more elaborate and harder to dodge than before. And secondly, the Iron Claw that appeared at the end, what the Iron Claw does is it will spawn and attack whoever is nearest it when it spawns. And by attack, I mean it will fly towards them and grab them, render that person unable to act and unable to move until the rest of the team kills that Iron Claw. You can see the fire attack there now goes out in 2 directions. The Iron Claw appears behind. It appeared behind, I think, Group C before. There's another Iron Claw, which I don't quite know where is. The green attack there now goes out in 4 directions instead of only 1. Oh, whoops, that was on ours, and I was being dumb and not paying attention. That attack is now harder to dodge as well, because there is another of the various arcs between the existing ones. And then, when 3 Iron Claws spawn simultaneously once again, go beat on them, get the crap out of AoE range, and I'm going to get hit by it anyway, because heck if I was getting out of the range of that, and go stand on the platform again. Always stand on the platform after 3 Iron Claws spawn simultaneously. By the way, if you're standing in the middle of this when he does this attack, you're just gonna die. And you see people die on occasion, and it's sort of hilarious. Now this time, an Iron Giant will spawn, and while you're beating on that, just before it dies, you'll see an Iron Claw spawn. This is probably gonna grab somebody. It usually grabs me. And you'll want to beat up that as well. Then the barrier will lower once everybody's done, and you can go back in again. Now, immediately, another Iron Claw will spawn on one of the team's platforms. It actually spawned on Group C's platform this time, so that's a Group C's problem. Another one spawned behind ours, so we get to go back and beat on that one now. And a couple new things are added to Acheron's repertoire. Million Cuts, I do believe that attack is called. So you want to not get hit by that to bake an attack. Stand in the small areas there, you can now cast Quake, which will just flat out do damage to everyone. So you'll need to be cured off that one. This attack is even harder to dodge since there's almost no room to stand between the slashes. And I do believe his final attack, the one with the various green ones, now goes out to the point that it's also almost impossible to dodge. Now there will not be a third Ancient Flare, oh, also that one. Don't be afraid to run into Acheron's circle to dodge those, especially if you're a melee. But that goes out in three directions now, to the point that you can't really dodge it if you're in the middle of it, especially if you're a little further back. But he will not do an Ancient Flare. At this point, you're just beating on him. So do just that. Endure his attacks. They're gonna hurt. There's not gonna be much room for you to dodge. But at this point, this is the end of it. And really, the Acheron fight is probably another one of the fun fights in this game. I don't know many people that don't like the Acheron fight. And that should just about finish them off. Skip the cutscene. When you beat Acheron, you will see another 3 treasure chests appear, one for each of the 3 alliances. Grab yours to see what loot you get. I'm going to pass that since I don't need it. Show you guys what it is. And Crystal Tower comes to a close. It's called Tower of the Ancients in the Duty Finder. It's more commonly referred to as Crystal Tower, but that'll do it for here. Until next time, everybody, when we actually live up to the Dancing with Primals name.